What's up, guys? Michael here, bringing you another video today. It's going to be a live edition of Chew on This. I know it has been a minute since you've seen or heard from me. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this in the future, what is up? For those of you who don't know who I am, maybe you're new to the channel, welcome. Howdy, how's it going? My name's Michael, Michael Chew, to be exact, as you can tell by my channel name. I love movies. I'm a huge movie fan. I love all things nerd, for lack of a better word. I'm a huge dork. I collect Blu-rays. I watch loads of movies constantly. I probably watch upwards like 3 or 4 movies a week. That's what this channel is mainly started as. I started this channel, geez, man, it's 2019 now. So I started this channel about 6 years ago, and it's been on and off this entire time. And I think it's time that I'm finally on and stay on for a while. I miss doing this. If you look back at my last couple of videos, I haven't made a video in about 2, 3 months. I think my last video was a montage video of my favorite films of last year, of the year 2018. Lots of good movies. I got a lot of good feedback on that video, so I appreciate all of you guys that watched it and shared it around. I really appreciate it. I put a lot of work into that, and I was really proud of it, actually, to be honest with you. So I took some notes, stuff I kind of want to go over. Considering that I haven't, like I said, been on the channel, I kind of want to provide you guys an explanation. I know some of you guys have been waiting for an explanation or waiting for me to come back for a while, and I'm sorry, first of all. But I do have reasons for everything, which I will go over. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm 20 years old now. Yeah, my birthday's in January. I'm 20 years old now, and I've been going through a big transition period in my life, switching. I was going to a college out in Los Angeles. I decided to no longer go there, and it was a big decision that I had to make last year, and to no longer go there and instead go to community college, which I'm doing now. And it was scary, and it was nerve-wracking, and it was hard to maintain all of this also while dealing with all of that. Of course, amongst other things, amongst personal things with relationships in terms of friendships or dating wise, however you want to look at it, relationships in general, even with family, I went through a couple hardships last year in all those aspects. And I think that I needed time to really focus on that rather than YouTube at the time, obviously, because, my mental health, I'm sorry, it comes first before anything. I love this. I love you guys, but that's definitely the most important. That's how I bring the best content to you guys. And probably you can tell that I'm much more happy and stress-free now. I feel way more open about coming back, and I'm really excited to come back, as you can probably tell. So yeah, I think I just needed the time to breathe, really. And I know a lot of people were saying, the channel was going really well for a second there. That Get Out video blew up a couple years ago, and since then we had a pretty good track record in terms of views on videos and audience retention and all that. But like I said, my mental health came first, and my emotional well-being came first. And I think I'm happy that I made that decision, because now I can come back and do this for you guys, and now it'll be fine, and it's gonna be fun. Obviously, I've not reviewed a lot of movies this year. I've reviewed none. You can follow me on Letterboxd, though. My link is on my channel. I've been giving little recently I've been leaving little short blurbs about the movies I watched, but prior to that, I was just leaving star ratings. I am going to go over a couple standouts here in a second, because I know you guys want to know what I've really liked from this year. It's been a pretty good year for movies so far, actually. I've been surprised by the amount of movies I've really enjoyed. Last year was not so hot, to be honest with you. I mean, there were really great movies, but they're few and far between, whereas now it feels like we're entering a territory where most of the movies these days are above average or above average, and that's very rare. And I'm very happy about it, of course. So going over some standouts, I'm just going to run through how many do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 kind of standout movies that I really enjoyed this year. So let's start with Us, man. Us was freaking phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of Get Out. It was not, I mean, obviously I made that video, and, at the time I was super high, and I think I gave it probably an A minus, A plus around the time. I'm not as easy of a critic as I was back then also. I think that comes with time and watching more things and educating yourself in film. But I mean, I loved Us. I thought it was a masterfully directed movie. I thought it had humor in all the right places. I wouldn't say it was really scary. Thrilling, though, and intense the whole time. Lots of twists and turns I did not see coming. I saw it 3 times in theaters. Every single time I learned something new while watching it. It's definitely a movie that lets you explore its lore and get all the Easter eggs that you can out of it, and things that you will not notice. Imagine, because Get Out is an older film. I don't mind spoiling that a little bit, but as in the scene where I believe the actress Allison Williams eating the Fruit Loops separate from the milk, it's symbolism, for the racism that takes place in that film. There's stuff like that on a much larger scale in Us, and those were some of the most cool moments. Obviously, the acting all across the board, especially Lupita Nyong'o, was freaking phenomenal. Never have I seen such a it was a dynamic performance. I will say that. I was just about to spoil the movie. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I know it's been out for a while, and a lot of you probably seen it by now, but it's definitely one of those movies that you got to go in, blind and not knowing, or knowing as little as possible, because it's just a crazy throw ride of a movie. But yeah, I think that was honestly out of the year. Other than a movie I'm going to talk about. No, I'll talk about this one next. But other than Us, at the beginning of the year, we also had Glass, which, I'm a huge fan of Split and James McAvoy. I've seen Unbroken. I'm not necessarily in love with it. I really enjoyed it when I watched it. I've watched it again recently, and I still really enjoy it, but not my cup of tea necessarily. But Glass, on the other hand, I loved. I was really surprised to learn about all the reviews on it kind of being trash. I didn't feel that way. I felt like the acting obviously really propels that movie forward. Samuel L. Jackson, although he doesn't really talk for a majority of the film, I want to say, it was a captivating performance, and one that stood out to me even amongst the characters who did have actual lines. Definitely Bruce Willis was the weakest part, or weakest link of the three main characters. His performance wasn't bad necessarily. They just didn't give him a whole lot to do. But James McAvoy and Samuel L. Jackson are like scene stealers, both of them. So them two together in a movie is just freaking phenomenal. It was a cool movie. It was extremely entertaining. I don't think I was bored for a second. I know a lot of people have problems with the ending. I like the ending. I actually like how it took a really different turn than I was expecting. I think lately I've been just, not that I'm saying that if you have a twist that your movie is good. Obviously, I don't believe that, because there have been some really awful movies with some awful twists as well. But I felt like the twists that happened toward the end of that movie in terms of what happens to certain characters and stuff like that, it was very shocking. It was very refreshing to see a movie that was willing to take such risks like that, in 2019. We don't really get stuff like that anymore, sadly. I mean, I wish we did. Movies like Us obviously prove that example very well, and they do well financially and critically. So yeah, I mean, I love movies that are willing to push some boundaries and willing to go a little bit off kilter, off the beaten path, and Glass was definitely one of those films. So we got that. And then we got Glass. What's the next one going to be? John Wick, Chapter 3. And I would say right now, John Wick Chapter 3 is probably my favorite film of the year. I mean, you guys probably seen my review for the second one. If not, it's on the channel, so you can find it somewhere here. But I'm not a huge John Wick fan. I mean, the first two are very well put together action movies, especially the first one. I mean, there are scenes in that I still think about, but they never really did anything for me compared to films like The Raid or The Raid 2, which I love. Phenomenal films that you should definitely check out. They're foreign Indonesian films, but they're very, very good martial art films. But I preferred that over John Wick. They came out around the same time, both those, the first and the sequel. So yeah, those were definitely the pinnacle of action movies for me for a while, until I saw John Wick 3, and I was really pleasantly surprised by it. Like I said, I do not name movies my favorite of the year very lightly, but I really loved this film, and I think it was beautifully shot. And the action in it is uncomparable to anything I've seen. Just phenomenal. I mean, all across the board, it was just a fun thriller out of the movie. I think it was almost 2 hours, I want to say, and I don't think I was bored for a second in that movie. I wanted to stay even longer. I wish the movie, I mean, it leaves off on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I wish the movie kept on going and we got to see the resolution to that. In the same film, I wouldn't mind if we went another hour. Everything about it was just great. Keanu Reeves is not the best actor, obviously. I love the guy. He seems like a really genuinely nice guy, but he's not the greatest actor. However, as John Wick, he's perfect for it. We get to delve a little bit more into his past, which is cool. Halle Berry is awesome in it. She's not in it as much as I thought she would be, but with the little screen time that she has, she's very good. And of course, the supporting cast like Lance Reddick, Ian McShane, they're back. Lawrence Fishburne, all three of them are great as well. The whole, and the villain was great. The dude, the chairman from what's that show? Iron Chef. Iron Chef is, yes, Iron Chef. He was phenomenal as the bad guy too. And then they got the two dudes from the Raid actually doing the martial arts in it as well. So nothing I can really complain about it. I have seen it twice now. still stand by that it is my favorite movie of the year currently. Yeah, I don't know. I think, which is so odd. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the first two. Definitely a change of pace for an action movie to be my #1 movie of the year, but I'm madly in love with John Wick Chapter 3. I can't wait for you guys to see it if you haven't already. Um, After that, I got a couple more on here. Booksmart. I don't have a whole lot to say about this film, apart from just go see it. It is, a coming of age movie that you've probably could figure out the plot of from watching the trailer, but it had a lot of moments in it that I didn't expect. And it had a lot of honesty and earnesty that usually, it's hard to come by these days. Obviously, we've seen a lot of coming of age films recently, and they only get more popular. But this was one that I felt like, even though the story was a little bit predictable, it had a lot of laugh out loud moments, and it had a lot of moments that brought me back to situations that I was in high school, and it really touched me. And I thought it was a fun, honest movie, despite the vulgarity in it, which I loved also. It was just an all around great film. The two leads in it were absolutely phenomenal. But the standout to me, which is going to transition into my next film I'm going to talk about, is Diana Silvers. And she was absolutely excellent in Booksmart. She's not the main character. She's actually, I was about to spoil that as well. Man, this is what happens when we do it live, guys. We almost spoil the crap out of a bunch of movies, but I'm not going to. That ties into Ma. She stars in Ma, which just recently came out about a week ago, I believe. Or not even. It came out on Friday. This is filmed on the 5th, or sorry, the 3rd. I think it came out on May 31st. And you know what? This brought me back to all those 90s, 80s slasher or kind of, creepy stalker movies that I like. I'm a sucker for movies like that. I'm not really into like whole paranormal deal too much when it comes to horror or thrillers, but I'm really into slasher movies, stalker movies, stuff like that. They're a guilty pleasure of mine. That this movie did not disappoint me at all. I thought all of the performances across the board were great, especially Gianni Paolo, or as well as Diana Silvers, like I said earlier. Actually, you know what? All the main group of children, or teens, I should say, are very, very good. They each have a moment in it that I can remember off the top of my head, and I each felt their uniqueness, and I felt their chemistry, and that's what kept the movie going for me. Even though I had a little bit of a slow start, it definitely kept me in the film and kept me engaged the entire time through. And although it wasn't super scary, like I said, I was entertained the entire time. It was really funny. And Octavia Spencer delivers like I wouldn't say Oscar-worthy performance necessarily, but a very, very captivating one. And the movie surprised me a lot with the portrayal of the character. The trailer doesn't really do it justice, and I don't really want it to. I feel like it spoils a lot already, to be honest with you. But at the same time, Octavia Spencer's character was very, very understandable in terms of her motivations. And, I felt bad for her, and I felt for her character a lot of the time, and I felt for everyone involved, really, as obviously, as you know, she goes a little bit crazy at some point in the film. But it was just a fun thrill ride, unexpected surprises all throughout, and it was just a great time. I really enjoyed it. Two more films on here. Let's start with Long Shot. Long Shot was the Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron comedy that came out in May as well. Got killed by Endgame, sadly. Another very enjoyable film, but I enjoyed Long Shot a lot more. Long Shot was a surprise movie for me. I really didn't expect a lot from it. I expected to laugh. Obviously, I'm a really big Seth Rogen fan, but they brought it, man. They actually really, really made a really great romantic comedy, and it brought me back to like those early 2000s romantic comedies that are also, my guilty pleasure, and they killed it. Seth Rogen is believable in a relationship with Charlize Theron, and that's really due to the writing of the movie and the performances. All across the board, like in this film, as well as Molly, I was talking about earlier, the supporting cast really helps elevate the movie, especially O'Shea Jackson Jr. He plays Seth Rogen's best friend in the movie, and it's absolutely hilarious how much he supports him and loves him. He was definitely one of the better parts of the movie, but obviously the two leads, they carry it throughout, and it's an unexpected treat of a movie. It goes places that I didn't think it would go. It is very satirical and very tongue-in-cheek a lot of the times, and maybe a little bit too much sometimes. But for the most part, I really enjoyed that film. One of the best gross out gags I've seen in a while also is in that film. Definitely worth the watch for that scene when it happens. Shocked me. Obviously, it made me laugh out loud both times I watched it. And the soundtrack was really good. Great older hits. We got like Roxette, and then we got Frank Ocean in there as well. So I'm a big music fan as well. I don't know if you guys know that, but I definitely appreciated that. And now to the last movie that I wish would get some more love. And this also came out in May, Brightburn, which is basically like the evil Superman little kid movie, for lack of a better way of explaining it. And I really enjoyed this film. It was a really interesting premise. And it is what you expect. It is pretty predictable, I would say, for the most part, up until the end. Great deaths in it, though. Honestly, some of the most shocking, gross out death gags I've seen, or not gags, but death scenes I've seen in a while. And it's very short. It's a tight edited film. It's a tightly edited film. There's really no filler in it at all. Like I said, not the best movie necessarily, but definitely one of my favorites of the year, just from a pure enjoyment standpoint. I wasn't scared really ever at any point, but it was gross. It shocked me, and the acting was very good. And you know what? I feel like that's a movie that they can actually make a property out of. They do, show some things in there that make it seem like, one day it could happen. I would love if James Gunn got another comic book type thing on his plate. Now he already has. I mean, he produced this film, but I mean, he's directing the new Suicide Squad. He's back on Guardians now, and now he's a part of this as well with his brothers. So I would love it if they made a sequel to this, or another spin-off of it somehow with a different, different gifted individual per se. But yeah, it took some risks that I liked, and I'm excited to see what they do next if they do another one. Sorry guys, I'm like super speeding through this. I'm a little bit tired, I'm not gonna lie to you, but plans for the future. I've been really looking into streaming on Twitch, streaming games. I haven't been playing a whole lot, but when I do play, I tend to play games that are more so less story, really, a lot of the time, and just a lot of, I mean, maybe not less story, but games that I don't really pay attention to the story for. So I'd like you guys to come and interact with me. It'd probably be a really good time. We could play some games together too. I got Xbox and PS4 and Switch. So if you guys are interested in that, please let me know. It's definitely something I've thought about for a while. I have delved into it a little bit. I don't know if you're back from my channel from way back when I did delve into it a little bit. So definitely expect that on the horizon at some point. I don't know to what extent, but there will definitely be some streams in the future. Movie reviews will be coming back. I'm not sure if I will keep them in the form that they were in previously, or if I'll keep them in a more so roundup way where I'll like take all the movies of the week and just run through them all in one video. We'll see. I'm not sure yet, to be honest with you. But it's definitely something I'm thinking about. And I'm definitely going to be back on the reviews. Obviously, I'm back with the podcast. This is probably going to be one of the more core elements of the channel. I really enjoy doing this. I love bringing people onto the show, obviously, and hopefully in a little bit we'll be able to bring people actually to my location. We can actually discuss things face to face. That's going to be really fun. I have plans on doing that. Just obviously right now is not as feasible as I would like it to be. But I think it's something that I definitely have planned for the future. So please be on the lookout for that as well. And more, I want to do more edits, like the Stand By Me edit I did earlier this year. I had a really good time doing it. It was tough. But I know it's not the best I can do. And I want to kind of improve on that. I want to keep on going with that. I don't know. Maybe you guys let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. Maybe I'll just practice on some stuff. If you guys leave me any recommendations on stuff you want to see, I'll definitely look into it and see what I can do. But I'll probably end up doing that again this year for the 2019 best films if I don't end up making like a 10 of the year list type of deal. I have also thought about vlogging. I do go out to eat a lot, a lot. I definitely go out with a lot of different people too, from all different walks of life. I think it'd be kind of fun for you guys to be a part of that as well, see what I'm up to, see the places I go to, and all that stuff. So once I get a better camera, that's definitely in the cards as well. Obviously, I need to get a better camera for the streams and the podcast as well, because this one is not the best. It is definitely doing me well right now, though. It is a step up above my old camera. But it's definitely in the cards. It is definitely in the cards. And I'm a big UFC fan. That's kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of plans. Maybe not live streaming my reaction to the fights, maybe just talking about the fights afterwards with a couple of my buddies that are also super into the sport. I know that's obviously not a really, no one has come here for that content prior, but I would like it to be part of it. It's a part of my life that I really enjoy. It's a sport that I really enjoy, so I'd like to have a place to talk about it, maybe stream some of the games while I talk about it. Who knows? But, all in all, to kind of end this on a question for you guys, let me know what you guys want to see. I mean, I'm open to all suggestion. I'm open to all ideas. I'm open to all recommendations or constructive criticism as well. So if there's anything you guys want to let me know, please leave it in the comments below. Plans in terms of what the next couple of videos are going to be. I'll definitely be doing like a X-Men Dark Phoenix review and spoiler discussion. Maybe have a couple different people, or maybe I'll do it by myself. I'm not sure, but definitely be on the lookout for that. I've been so hyped for that movie. Please be good. X-Men, I don't know if you guys know, is probably my favorite superhero franchise in terms of movies and comics. So this movie means a lot to me. It's supposed to be the final chapter before who knows what happens with it when it gets to actually, be part of the MCU one day. Who knows what's going to happen with that whole deal. But yeah, that's probably gonna be the next couple of videos. Maybe I'll do like a retrospective video if I have time this week on X-Men, or just a quick little mini review of each movie, maybe, or my ranking of them. But yeah, until then, guys, just please, like I said, let me know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know what you guys want to see on the channel. Like I said, I'm open to all suggestions. And I actually had fun doing this. I know it was kind of short and brief and not like my usual content, really. But I just want to catch you guys up on what's been going on and, how life is. I'm okay. I'm alive and I'm back and I'm better than ever. I'm ready to bring more content to you guys. So please stick around with me. Bear with me. If I'm not even going to say I'm going to slack off again because it's not going to happen. I won't let it happen. Yeah, I'm going to be back and we are going to make this 2019 count. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for joining me again. My name is Michael. Same peace. Later.